Death, a topic most people seldom discuss openly, yet an inevitable part of the human experience and a journey we all embark on. For some, death is seen as a beautiful thing, not in the sense of celebrating the end of life, but as a transformative moment. It's like moving from one state of being into another, just like how caterpillars become butterflies. Many cultures develop intricate after-death rituals that show the beauty of death. In Hinduism, the funeral pyre symbolizes the purification of the soul, marking its journey towards reincarnation. In Mexico, the Day of the Dead is celebrated, where families create colorful altars to honor their deceased loved ones. I often ponder questions about what happens after we die, and if an afterlife even exists.
When I die,
I want to contribute my body to science.
I want to be cremated and turned into a diamond.
I want to be displayed in an international museum in the hot pink butterfly dress.
Death in general is like a transition to a different phase of our life. We transition from being an infant to a toddler, to a school-going primary school kid, to teenagers, adults, and into marriage life and stuff like that. Likewise, death is a transition to another realm or another phase of our life. As an embalmer, we see death on a daily basis. We know that death is part of life. In order for you to have life, there must be a death.
Death to me, I think is a normal thing that everyone will go through.
It is through the death that perhaps the deceased will no longer have any suffering. It is through the death that the family members find closure. We have had cases like deceased wants to be dressed in her wedding gown, for example. Most of my clients are old people, so it's always nice to make them look a bit younger, and their families are always appreciative of it. The art of embalming is to make the deceased look as though he or she is sleeping or look at peace.
I think this is important for family members because it's the last memories of their loved one. So if embalming is done well, that leaves a very lasting impression for them.
Before even touching the body, I will say uncle or auntie so and so. My name is Ashraf. I'm here to help you look nice for your family. When we first receive the body, we do a thorough clean first, and then we look at the clothes that is being prepared for the deceased. From then, we will decide where do we actually inject the chemical.
We'll adjust the different chemical to different bodies.
Then we will do the trocar procedure, which is to drain out the blood from the various organs. When we are about to do the incision, we will say, auntie, it's gonna be a bit painful, okay, just bear with me. Okay, then we can, okay, finish already. Once that is being done, we will clean the body one more round and we will stitch back the body. And then we will do another round of cleaning, and then we will dress up the deceased.
After the embalming, we'll do a very natural makeup to make them look presentable throughout.
I realize every time when there's a death or funeral, religion play a very big role in helping family cope with grief. Different religions have different ways to gather and unite their family members. Buddhists and Taoists, they follow more to the Chinese traditions and all that. On the final night, the Taoists especially, they have this burning of paper houses. But Christian ones, they unite through their service. They will assemble things like video montage of the deceased when he or she is still alive.
Hindu Muslim, after we do the embalming, they will straight away have a ritual over here before we send off the casket.
Buddhist or Taoist culture, sometimes they may require us to leave the mouth slightly open because they need to put a pearl in between the lips. In Christian or Catholic religion, some of them may require you to put the hand in a repose position so that they can tie around the rosary. Before the deceased go out of this room, I would actually knock on the coffin and say thank you, because every case that I handle, every client that I see is a learning point for me.
There are many different ways we choose to have our loved ones go. Consider the Tibetan practice of sky burial, where the deceased is laid out on a mountain top to be consumed and scavenged by animals. Another unique practice by some villagers in China and Indonesia is to hang coffins along the sides of cliffs in hopes of bringing the souls of the dead closer to heaven. With the evolution of technology, there are more and more new practices. Many people from the United States have been frozen cryogenically in hopes that they can be revived in the future. There are so many methods for post-death transformation, from being eternally preserved by having your bodily fluids replaced by plastic, to having your ashes become colourful beads. What about having your ashes turned into fireworks? Or even mixed with concrete and moulded into the coral reef? I realised that some don't even care what happens to their bodies, and some just want their families to get over and done with. Others hold on to this idea that their physical form should be preserved or remembered in a certain way. This is where the question of legacy comes into play. What do we want to keep of loved ones who have passed away?
When my pet dies.
When my pet dies,
When my pet dies.
I would like to plant a seed in remembrance of my pet.
I will probably want to bury it under my block.
I want to cremate it and bury the ashes.
I would like to preserve a part of its body, say like a bone, to sort of remember and appreciate the fact that she existed.
I want to have part of the ashes turned into keychains.
I want to collect its fur and make it into a pillow.
Commonly when your pet dies, you will cremate it and keep it in an urn. As years go by, you're going to forget what your pet looks like other than the picture on the wall. But with taxidermy, you are able to actually touch and look at your pet every day. This allows pet owners to remember their pets as it was and helps them grieve as well. But more importantly, to keep the memory alive. Black Crow Taxidermy and Art is the only taxidermy company in Singapore. What we do is we preserve animals and pets. Taxidermy is a process of preserving skin. It's generally used for the purpose of scientific study, but quite recently as well, we are seeing people use it for remembering their pets. In an Asian setting, taxidermy, death, is a bit of a taboo topic. So when someone comes to us with a pet they would like to preserve, right? They are willing to break the taboos, break boundaries, to go above and beyond to preserve the memory of their own pet. Pets are considered like part of the family, and for some people, they don't have children, they have pets, and that's all they have. Death of a pet companion can be a very sad thing. Often we have pet owners that come in bursting into tears, and it takes them a fair bit to get over that whole process before they're able to pass it to us. And oftentimes when they come in, we allow them an hour or two to grieve with their pet, to say their final goodbyes. And when they receive their pet back from us, they are often very happy because they get to keep that memory alive as well. When pet owners come to us, there is a wide variety of options they have. Most generally, it will be the full taxidermy of their pet. But others have opted for options where they would skin a portion of the fur and mount it into a frame for the owners to keep as a memory keepsake. Other options we have is to preserve the ashes or a part of the fur in a jewellery or necklace. Some have even made bracelets out of their hamster bones as well. Often if you pass away, you'll be remembered by 1 or 2 generations. But now with taxidermy, it allows the younger generations to understand what the older generations kept together. I think it allows for family bonding, allows for generational happiness.
Just like how humans develop complex rituals and beliefs, animals too exhibit a range of natural behaviors and cycles that invite us to reflect on the beauty of death and its meaning. Elephants pay respect by gently touching the skulls and tusks of their deceased with their trunks and feet. Monkeys have been observed to hold vigils for their lost ones, sitting quietly by their side and displaying unmistakable signs of sorrow and loss. Similarly, ancient Egyptian kings would mummify their cats, honoring them in death as they did in life, believing them to be sacred companions on the journey to the afterlife. In these acts of homage, we see a reflection of the natural order where death is not an end, but a transition, a necessary ebb in the tide of life.
At my funeral, I want Mamma Mia to be played non-stop, whole day, whole night.
I would prefer a party, karaoke and like good food, things that are like a memorial instead of a funeral kind of party. I think that would be nice.
Just as autumn leaves must fall to fertilize the ground for new growth, so too must life embrace death in order to make room for renewal. In contemplating the art of death, I often think to myself, how could a grief-filled passing be considered a beautiful thing? The beauty of death lies in the unity it fosters through shared grief and remembrance, and in the spiritual connection it evokes. Death brings people together. It offers a chance for forgiveness, and it's serene. Death is not an end, but a transition. It's a reminder that life's clock is ticking and that we should make the most out of our time on earth. The art of death, the rituals we perform, and the beauty we find in it all serve as a reminder that in every ending, there's a potential for a new beginning and a new transformation. I want to be sent off surrounded by family and friends, not in grief, but in the happiness of the memories that we shared. And I'm not sure if I want a sea burial or to be decomposed by mushroom, but one thing's for sure, I want the finality of me to return back to nature and back to the tranquility and peace that it brings. How would your farewell look like?